Precious stood in the restaurant bathroom, her heart racing as she stared at the pregnancy test. The second felt like hours as she waited for the results to appear. Finally, the test showed a positive result. Precious felt so many emotions: fear, shock, and unexpected sense of joy. "I'm pregnant," she whispered to herself, her mind racing with thoughts of what this could mean. "What am I going to do?" she thought. She knew she needed to inform June, but she was unsure how he would react. Would he want to be involved, or would he feel trapped by the situation? Precious decided to take some time to think about her next steps. Later that day, Precious called her friend Hannah and told her about the pregnancy. Hannah was shocked but supportive. "Precious, you need to tell June. You need to tell Mr. Lee. He deserves to know, and you both might find a way to work things out," Hannah encouraged her. Reluctantly, Precious agreed but decided not to tell June immediately. She wasn't ready to face the possible consequences. A few days later, June was still struggling with his feelings for Precious, and he has ended the engagement. He couldn't stop thinking about her and decided to take action. By chance, he ran into Hannah, who was surprised to see him at work instead of at Precious' first doctor's appointment. "Mr. Lee, what are you still doing here?" Hannah asked, puzzled. "What do you mean I'm working?" Mr. Lee replied, confused by her question. "I thought Precious has already told you," Hannah said. "She's pregnant, and today is her first prenatal appointment." June felt a rush of emotions: shocked, happiness, and determination. "Thank you, Hannah," he said, rushing out from the office. "I need to be there for her." Precious was at the hospital waiting for her prenatal appointment. She was lost in her thoughts when she heard a familiar voice call her name. "Precious," June said, breathless from running. "I'm here." Precious looked up in surprise, her eyes widening. "June, what are you doing here?" "I know about the baby," June said, sitting down beside her. "I'm here for you, for both of you." They stared at each other, emotions filling between them. June's eyes were filled with love and determination. "Let's do this together," he said softly. During the ultrasound, they held their hands, watching in surprise and joy as the image of their baby appeared on the screen. Tears welled up in Precious' eyes as she glanced at June, who was equally moved. "This is our baby," June whispered, his voice filled with wonder. After the appointment, Mr. Lee took Precious home. They sat in the living room holding hands as they talked. "I have rejected the engagement," Mr. Lee said, his voice steadied. "I explained everything to my parents and they understood. I want to be with you, Precious, always." Precious looked into his eyes, seeing the sincerity and love. "June, I want that too." June leaned in, their faces inches apart, the air between them charged with tension and chemistry. "I've missed you so much," he whispered, his breath warmed against her lips. "I've missed you too," Precious replied, her voice filled with emotion. Their lips met in a kiss that was both tender and passionate. The kiss deepened, filled with the longing and love they have for each other. June's hand gently cupped her face, while Precious' finger tangled in his hair. The world around them seemed to disappear as they lost themselves in the moment. When they finally pulled apart, they were both breathless, their foreheads resting against each other. "We will face everything together," June said softly. "I promise." Precious nodded, tears of happiness in her eyes. "I believe you, June," she said. That night, they shared another night together, their connection stronger than ever. They were in each other's arms, whispering words of love and reassurance. The future was uncertain, but they knew they would face it together, hand in hand. A few days later, Precious and June met with June's parents. They were not happy about the situation, but they had no choice but to accept Precious and started the wedding plans. June's parents were initially cold, but June's determination and love for Precious eventually softened their hearts. "We will support you," June's father said reluctantly, "but you must understand the challenges ahead." June and Precious nodded, grateful for their acceptance. They called Precious' parents to share the news about the baby and their marriage plans. Due to Precious' pregnancy, she couldn't travel to Nigeria for the wedding, so they decided to have the ceremony in Korea. The wedding day arrived. It was a beautiful celebration. June's parents and Precious' parents were in attendance, along with close friends and family. The ceremony was held in a very perfect garden, adorned with flowers and twinkling lights. As Precious walked down the aisle, her heart swelled with love and happiness. June stood at the altar, his eyes filled with adoration as he watched her approach. They exchanged vows, promising to love and support each other through all of life's challenges. "You may now kiss the bride," the officiant declared. June and Precious stared into each other's eyes, their love very obvious. They kissed passionately, sealing their vows with a promise of forever. After the wedding, June and Precious went on a honeymoon to a very secluded resort. The nights were filled with romance and intimacy as they cherished their time together. One evening, they sat on the balcony watching the sunset. June wrapped his arms around Precious, pulling her close. "I love you more than words can express," he whispered, his lips brushing against her ears. Precious turned to face him, her eyes shining with love. "I love you too, June. You've made me the happiest woman in the world." They kissed, their lips meeting in a tender and passionate embrace. The night was filled with whispered words of love and promises for the future. They made love, their connection deepened with every touch and kiss. Months passed, and the day finally arrived for the baby's birth. Precious went into labor, and June was by her side, holding her hand and offering words of encouragement. "She's beautiful," June whispered as he held their newborn daughter for the first time. "Thank you, Precious. I love you both so much." Precious smiled through her tears, feeling a sense of completeness. "I love you too, June. We are a family now." Later, in the quiet moments at the hospital, June and Precious sat together, holding their daughter. They marveled at the tiny life they had created. Their hearts overflowed with love. "We did it," June said softly, his eyes filled with pride and joy. "Yes, we did," Precious replied, her voice filled with emotion. "I couldn't have done it without you." June leaned in and kissed her, a gentle, loving kiss that spoke of their journey and the future they would share. "I promise to love and cherish you both always." Precious smiled, her heart full of love. "And I promise to love you, June, forever." They kissed again, sealing their promise with a tender embrace, ready to face the future together as a family. The end. So how do you like it? Don't forget to click on the subscription button, comment, like this video. Thank you. Till the next series. Love ya.